All right, that sources review part. So, first, let's talk about some key vocab. We have primary sources. These are sources that were created during that time period that we are studying. So, they are specifically from that time. It's not after. So, some great examples: an interview with someone, an autobiography. So, the person is writing about themselves. Some artifacts. So that could be coins from that time period, maybe a sculpture from that time period, clothing from that time period, etc. Photographs, any diaries, some newspaper articles if it was posted during that time. So if it is an article about the war between Russia and Ukraine and it is posted the day that the war started, that could be a primary source. Now, if someone wrote an article today about something that happened, a year ago, that would not be a primary source. Another example of a primary source could be a map, right? Because you are looking at what it was like during that time period. The other type of source we have are secondary sources. They are created after that time period that is being studied. They are created by someone else interpreting what happened. So, some examples: a textbook, right? Textbooks are not created during that time period. Someone learned about it and then created information. Biographies are someone writing about someone else's life. Political cartoons, they are about frequently posted during a certain time period, but it's someone else's interpretation of what's happening. Podcasts about something, a lot of news articles can fall under this. Okay, if they are talking about a time period in the past. Documentaries fall under this if they are about a time period in the past, right? It's not live interviews with people that were there. It's teaching you about something that has happened before. Okay. Important piece with secondary sources, there can be sources of bias within that secondary source because someone is taking information and then is telling you about it. So it is filtered through someone else. So there's always going to be some sort of bias or different lens put on it that can kind of skew it, right? They're using their own perspective. Couple of those vocab words, right? Bias is an opinion or liking that does not let someone be fair, right? That was in your vocab section. So using sources from a variety of perspectives, right? Those points of view and variety of voices, types of people, reduces bias, right? You're going to get rid of that one kind of tunnel vision that you might get if you only use one source or sources from one specific group of people. If you get lots of different perspectives, you can see it from all the different angles. Context. This is the situation surrounding an event, statement, or idea that you need to use to fully understand what is happening. So, if we understand the context of something, it helps us identify any biases. So, for example, right, if something happens and there is a disagreement between two friends, there's some context around that, right? Maybe someone has a personal experience that is impacting their point of view. The other person doesn't see that. If you don't have an understanding of what the other person sees, it makes it kind of hard to see what's going on. If I come in and I see a situation happening and I don't really understand what happened before to cause it, I don't have the context. I don't have the understanding of what happened to fully understand what's going on. Corroboration. This is evidence that supports a claim, idea, or theory. So, this is when something else supports or kind of backs up what you believe or what an idea is said to be. So, it's important to find sources that are, if they are corroborating each other, right, they are supporting each other, that's going to reduce bias. That's going to say, hey, oh, this is accurate. This is not someone else's interpretation and it's kind of skewed. This is an accurate representation of what happened. All right, we're going to talk about the next bit in another video.